Welcome to the Village Group Chat. We're bringing you into real conversations about topics that are trending and some that are not. From time to time, we'll have special guests. Some conversations will be crazy, others insightful, just like your group chat. Hit the subscribe button and stay locked in with us. All right, we're talking about the NBA Finals. It was all Pacers all night, and they're heading to Game 7. So who watched? Which one of you watched? Did you both watch?
Yeah, I watched
Watched it on
quite a bit,
Okay.
enough
Yeah,
to know who was going to win and how many points.
right. I
Hmm.
tapped out after the third quarter, so it was. I knew OKC's just getting prepared to go back home, and so I tapped out after that.
Yeah, it seems like the series is going to end in dramatic fashion, similar to the buzzer beater that Shepard hit at the end of the third, which I think was really the dagger of the night, where the Pacers went up by 30, and it just wasn't much of a game. But one highlight, or I guess one story that I think came out of last night was Halliburton. So Halliburton has a calf strain, but it seems as though that didn't slow him down last night. Anthony, what did you think about that?
I mean, I think it's the finals. I think they did whatever it needs to be to take that pain away. He was able to get back home after leaving OKC, get treatment, get whatever he needed to injection, treatment, whatever. But it's the finals. I mean, he has all summer to rest. So I feel him back home. And also when you're home, you got the energy of that crowd. So sometimes
Yeah.
you don't feel that pain necessarily when you're out there playing. I mean, you're just going off adrenaline and energy. So I knew he was going to come back. I know that calf, strain wasn't going to hamper him back in Indiana. So no, I expected that. Did I expect that big of a blowout? No, but I thought Indiana would come out punching, and OKC seemed to be okay with just going back home.
For
Yeah,
sure.
and I really didn't think, like, I know they're saying a calf strain, but I felt like OKC was kind of locking him up more so than a calf strain because, like, you know what I'm saying? He been playing the same way. It's not like all of a sudden he had 30 points in game one and then all of a sudden in game five he had 10 points and was limping around or something
Hmm.
like that. Like, you know how sometimes people kind of
It's
like,
ego.
okay, yes, ego a little bit, like
Yeah,
they
A
were
little
showing
hurt.
different plays, and I'm like, it don't look like he
Hmm.
hurt, and he's not really that high flyer type
Right.
player either. So it's not
Right.
like he dunking on people all game, and then all of a sudden
Hmm.
now he can't do that. So his game is more so shooting and distributing and different things like that. So it might be a strain, but I don't know. I feel like they put a little sauce on it.
I, I think that's fair but who was high flying last night was Siakam. So I think the poster of the night was the no look to Siakam from Halliburton. And, again, when we talk about the daggers of the game, there was the Shepherd three at the end of the third, but then there was also the dunk by Siakam who just went
Yeah.
in.
right,
Yeah, and another key thing that people have been talking about was the fact that Rick Carlisle was the coach of the Mavs when they won their championship,
Hmm.
and he's a great
Hmm.
coach. And normally, have like when somebody's injured, they usually don't release that information if they're playing or not until about 30 minutes before.
Yeah.
But in his press conference, the first thing that Rick Carlisle said was that basically that Halliburton was playing, and so I feel like that was a little bit of gamesmanship also, like
Yeah.
in order to kind of amp his team up some more.
right.
For
And I
sure.
like
For
how you threw
sure.
that Dallas in there. You throw Dallas in any chance you get. I noticed how you threw that. That didn't need to
Always
be in there.
repping.
We get it.
Always repping for the hometown,
Right.
Yeah.
right? All right. Well, we're looking forward to Game 7, which takes place on Sunday back in OKC. And it brings all the drama. The script writers are writing it perfectly for two teams that are not from big markets, right? So, who do you all have? Desi, who do you have?
I feel like Oklahoma will win, but I'm actually rooting for Indiana. I think it'll be more exciting if Indiana wins, in my opinion. I feel like OKC should have shut them out. Like, this series shouldn't have been quite as close as it has been. And so
Mhm.
I'm like, man, Oklahoma should have won 4-1, 4-2. Now you're going back to
Mhm.
game 7. Anything can happen in one game. Like somebody
Sure.
could get cold, somebody could sprain an ankle. Like you don't know what could happen. So I feel
Right.
like now that it's game 7, like no, let's go ahead and see the Cinderella team take it
Mhm.
all the way through, and we'll see a documentary and a little story about it, 30 for 30 or something in a few years. You know what I mean? All of that. So I want to see that
For
through.
sure.
Mhm.
What about you, Anthony?
I mean, I started off. I had OKC in 6, so I'm gonna be honest.
Mhm.
I had OKC in 6, and OKC should have finished it.
Mhm.
But with that, I'm kind of nervous going into Game 7. I know OKC's back at home, but I mean, Indiana's they have momentum right now, and they play off of that energy. And they seem to not only match but surpass OKC's energy at times. So it seems like if they're both playing at their high level of energy, Indiana seems to have that extra gear that coming into the series you thought OKC had. So I mean, it's tough for me to go against them at home, but like Desi said, I mean, anything can happen.
Mhm.
I got to stick with my original. I'm gonna go with OKC at home. I got to stick with my original, but I do agree that it would be probably a better story with Indiana winning. I mean, I've never really been
Right.
an Indiana fan. I do like the coach. I do like
Yeah,
the way they're playing. I mean, this is like March Madness to me. This is like two college
it
teams.
is.
It's like
It
we've been in
It
the
is.
is.
Final Four, the tournament. I mean, the crowd, the energy, the shirts they wear. I mean, this made it fun. I know it was concerned about the two small markets coming in, but it's been a fun, finals. So you can't,
Yeah.
especially if you're a basketball fan, this has been,
Mhm.
fun. So it took me to March Madness. So I'm gonna stick with my pick. I'm gonna go OKC.
I
Okay, see,
just
well,
I just hope
I'm
people
gonna,
watched it, like because
yeah.
ratings have definitely been down. I feel like with
Mhm.
a game 7, the ratings will go up a little bit, but they were talking about how this is about 20% lower than normal
Yeah.
Mhm.
or last year, and so a game 7 will definitely help that.
But I think
Yeah.
that's non-basketball fans, though. I think because
Yeah,
I know when you get the big teams, the big mark, you get other people watching it, more game parties, more this and that. But those who are enjoying basketball, outside when it gets a blowout, like we're watching it because the games are good. And
Mhm.
with Indiana, they scary, man. They could be down 20 and you blink
yeah,
your eye,
And get on a
they,
run.
they right back in
Mhm.
because they don't quit. That's the scary part about them in Game 7. Only
Sure.
one game to win it all. Now, I gotta go with my original pick, even though I'm teetering right now. But
who are the refs? Who are the refs in game 7? That's gonna make a difference
Yeah,
too.
that's good. That
what they
makes the
how they call it,
difference.
how they call it in the game. It
Yep.
should be exciting though. It should be exciting.
Because if
What's your pick?
SGA,
Absolutely.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
what's your pick?
Oh, I will never root for OKC. They stole my team. So it is Indiana all the way. As a diehard Supersonics fan, I can never. So I am going for Indiana. Actually, what I was really excited about because you grow up in the '90s, you watch Reggie Miller play, just seeing his excitement on the court or on the sidelines, rooting for Indiana, or even some clips
Right.
I've seen on socials, kind of been fun, just because he never actually got his championship, never got his ring. So I am Indiana all the way. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, it was great seeing him excited, but it was
Hmm.
also one of those bittersweet moments. Like I don't know, like
For
one of
sure.
those games in Indiana, they showed like the Davis boys. It was like I don't know if it was Travis Best, like Haywood, like they showed,
Hmm.
and those
Hmm.
guys were so old. It was like, dang, that's been that long,
There were a few of those moments where I go, "Whew, all right."
right?
So we all getting old.
I was going to say I'm not too far from that era. I don't know what he's talking about.
Right.
I mean, look, maybe you taking care of yourself a little bit better. You know what I mean? You out there in Cali, you know what I'm saying, working out and got some sun. I
Right.
don't know. Them,
Right. And green juice. He's got the green juice and all,
That
all
too.
that stuff. Keeping you right out in California. So I'm going to pivot away from the NBA finals. I want to quickly just touch on Juneteenth once again. So yesterday we were on talking about Juneteenth and what it means to us. And so last night, the president on Truth Social decided to say that there are too many non-working holidays. I don't have the quote right up. I don't think it matters. We can flash it here in a minute, but too many non-working holidays. That was essentially without acknowledgement of Juneteenth. That's what he did say. So it's been something that's been I've been seeing trending across social lately. I just got to get everybody's take. What do you think, Desi, about what the president had to say? And then what do you, uh, uh, yeah, what do you think about what the president has to say?
Yeah, I'm fine with cutting Columbus Day. Isn't that
Right,
what we was
right.
talking
Columbus
about?
Day.
Because that one can go for sure. but no,
Hmm.
but no, I think he's always strategic. He's go toe the line, and and he likes to get a rise out of people. And so
Hmm.
on such a great day, and even in some of my client emails and different things like that, like I was getting bounce backs when I was sending emails to certain companies, and it was like it was
Hmm.
great to see, like, hey, these offices are
Hmm.
closed for Juneteenth and
Yes.
different things like that. So, like, there are definitely a lot of holidays, but the working class, they need those days off sometime, and so
Exactly.
I feel like that's bad for him to say, on a day like that, but that's kind of who he is and what he does. So it's to be
To be
expected.
expected.
Hmm.
Exactly. I will actually also throw in there, someone, I saw a couple comments and I thought it was there was one that I saw that I thought was spot on, is someone saying this is the epitome of a microaggression. And I was like, that's exactly what, other folks don't actually recognize. Like that, by saying what's or leaving certain things unsaid, that's exactly what a microaggression is. So if anybody ever wanted to know what that looks like, that's exactly what it looks like. Anthony, what's your take?
I mean, I agree. I mean, he said it out loud. The attention wasn't on him. He loves the
Mm-hmm.
attention. This was a day, for us, important day. I mean, he picked the
Yeah.
holiday to choose. And if you watch what he said in 2020 to what he said now, it's a complete contrast to what he
Yeah.
said. So right now, I mean, he's not running again, so he don't care what he said. He gets to really be who he is and and say
Mm-hmm.
what he want to say. But it was just a part of, okay, let me just disrupt this great day. Let me disrupt. Let me cause chaos. Let me make it about me.
Yep.
More than anything. We know they don't want that holiday for us. I mean, I bet you they enjoy the day off. The ones who the MAGA who may be supporting what he said, they enjoyed their day off. But I mean,
Absolutely.
it was about trying to take away, our joy, or the people who were celebrating joy that day, and make it about him. So that
Absolutely.
to me, that's what it was.
So I think in the end, what we're hearing is forget what he has to say. We all were able to celebrate in
Right.
joy, all able to celebrate the freedom and liberation and that fight and struggle for freedom and liberation for our people. So that's I think that's the best part of the whole day. And from even our conversation yesterday, we've all got to do something to celebrate, something to teach, something to learn, and uh, that's what Juneteenth is all about.
For sure. I agree.
All right. Well, that's it for the group chat. Join us each week as we talk about all the topics that are trending and some that are not, and join the conversation. Hit subscribe and stay locked in.